Hello, here we are at the Web Summit, 42,752 people registered for this event, and I'm glad that I can speak with the thought leaders of the industry which I love. Media, communication, content creation. Today I'm talking with Jim Louderback from VidCon. Jim, welcome to the Change Officer podcast. The Change Officer is the podcast when we try to inspire people not to be afraid of the change and jump to the opportunity, because the change is the only constant in life. So you had a lot of changes in your life. You started in magazines.
Yeah, so I tell you, so early on, in my late 20s, I worked for tech magazines, PC Magazine, PC Week. And the cool thing was, it's like I was so lucky because that was back when media was all about gatekeepers. Somebody had to give you the right to be in media.
Yeah.
So the editor-in-chief and the people who ran PC Week said, you can come run our reviews and we'll give you a weekly column. So here I am writing a weekly column about technology, which is amazing.
Here you are.
Let me do it.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, I go to the second WC3 conference about the internet, early days of the internet. And I was like, wow, this thing that was given to me by these gatekeepers, suddenly anybody around the world can write a blog about their favorite technology, whether it's, in those days it was big PCs, but you didn't need a gatekeeper anymore. You could start a blog, you could write about it, and you could build an audience. And so the change that in media, even back, and this was 1994, 95, the change in media from you had to wait for somebody, and you had to go to where they were, New York or London or Dubai or Singapore or Sydney or to anywhere in the world. You could open up your computer and start writing. And now that change has moved into video. Anywhere in the world, you can pick up this, fire up TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, and start creating. Nobody tells you to do it. Nobody gives you the key. You go out and take it yourself. So I know you talked to Sean Does Magic and other people here, creators. Every one of them woke up one day and they had no followers, no friends, no subscribers, and they said, I'm going to start at 0. And I got 1, I got 10, I got 100, I got 1,000, and built it themselves. And so that change is so profound, but it's fundamentally changed media. This is one of the many changes that are out there, but that to me is such an epic transformation.
No, that epic transformation, democratization of the media access, no more gatekeepers, as you said, gave us a lot of creativity, a lot of people, and it's hard to follow all of them, but you managed to jump into the organization which brings them together in one place, in one time, but now a lot of places around the world. It's VidCon.
Yep, VidCon, yes.
What is VidCon? You didn't found the VidCon.
No, so in the early days of YouTube, two early YouTubers, Hank and John Green, the Vlog Brothers.
Yes, Vlog Brothers.
Amazing. And they were two brothers. And in the United States, one lived, they moved apart. One lived in one part of the country, one lived in the other. And unlike, other brothers like email, phone, whatever, hi, how are you? They started doing that on YouTube. So Hank would post a video on YouTube saying, hey, John, here's what I'm thinking. John would look at the next day, there'd be a video from John saying here, Hank, here's what I think about that thing. And they were such smart guys and Renaissance guys, and they knew so much about so many things. They built this audience of people up around them. They the nerd fighters, they had the name. And Hank, in 2009 was like, we need a face-to-face event because all these fans, they've never met us. There are other creators that are growing up, the early OG creators, Phil DeFranco and other people we've never met. So they started this thing, VidCon, in a really small ballroom in a hotel in LA. And there were 1,400 people there. I was running an early YouTube multi-channel network. So we had our own network of YouTubers. Yeah. And I found out about it. I got to know Hank and John. I spoke the first one, sponsored. And so they built it over the 4 or 5 years. It started to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
What was the year? 2000?
It started in 2010.
2010? Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, and then over time, we did more. We helped them out, and I became a little bit of an advisor to them. And then I sold my company to Discovery. And in 2012, 2 years later, I left. And I called up Hank. I'm like, Hank, I can't go work in media for a year because I have a non-compete. Yeah. But I can go do events. You want any help with that VidCon? And he was like, yeah, come build my industry track. So VidCon's 3 things. It's a B2B industry summit, which is all about the business of online video and community media.
Okay.
It's a creator track conference where we teach the next generation of creators how to make TikToks, how to make YouTube, how to build a channel, how to inspire each other and inspire from creators. And then it's a fan fest where we bring the top creators in the world and all their fans together to celebrate the love that they have for each other. So all of those things. So I started the industry track and helped them build it. And then a couple years later, we started expanding. They started expanding to Australia and to Amsterdam. And Hank woke up one day and
You
said,
remember asking them? Yeah.
yeah, he said in 2017, he's like, I have no investors, I have no debt, but all of it's on me. So if there was a hurricane or a flood or a
Yeah.
pandemic, we'd be wiped out. So he said, I need investors or I need to sell. Will you come be my CEO end of 2017 and let's figure out what we can do? Because it's been 7 years and I'm done with the stress and I need a partner. And so I came in and 5 months later we sold to Viacom.
Oh,
So that we're now part of Viacom CBS.
so you're good at selling companies. Can you be my friend?
Yeah. Well, did a couple of them, but yeah.
Yeah. No. What was that? What was that? The moment you just mentioned. Just want to dig deep a little bit in that multi-channel networks.
Yep.
What was wrong with them?
So in the early days of YouTube, YouTube grew so fast,
Yes.
and so many creators came in.
Yes.
YouTube didn't have the ability to support all of them. They
Yes.
needed help, and they were trying to build their support team up. But there were people like us who were building these online video networks, and YouTube actually gave us the right to take a creator, bring them into our network, and we would kind of almost own their channel.
Yeah.
And then we would get all the money from their AdSense and their other advertising and other things, and we would pay them and do other things. And so these multi-channel networks were a way for YouTube to work with all these creators that were blowing up without having to build a huge support team. The problem with it is that eventually YouTube was less happy with it, and you could make more money as a creator going direct than working with us. And so we would be like, yeah, we would have to end up paying.
Yeah.
We would pay out more money than we would bring in. And we were more of a niche version of a multi-channel network. We were around tech and gaming and geeks.
News, Philip DeFranco News.
Yeah, we had Phil DeFranco,
Current
we
affairs,
had Epic
yeah.
Mealtime,
Yeah.
we had Soldier Knows Best and John for Lakers and a bunch of the early unboxers and but it just wasn't a good business because you couldn't make money on the margin as it grew because YouTube took their cut and then you took your cut and then you go to the creator and say, here's your cut, and they're like, well, I could go to YouTube directly and I could make all that cut back, and it's like, yeah.
But what is the difference between the agency that represents, let's say, David Dobrik and the MCN?
So the MCN would work as a network partner to try and build different collections of content. What the agents or the managers do is they say, come to me, I will run your career and I'll take 10% of everything you do.
Oh, okay.
Or some percentage.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
But there is no cut in negotiations with YouTube or
no, exactly.
It's
just
10%.
It comes in,
yeah.
I get it all.
Yeah.
But we actually were sort of, YouTube let us do this thing because they needed our help at that time. And there still are a couple of those multi-channel networks left, but they've become more talent agencies and managers, and it's less about your channel belongs to us and more, how can I help you?
Yeah. But what happened with Disney then? Then they bought a lot of multi-channel networks.
Well, Disney bought Maker.
Maker, which was 500 million, 600
It was big, but
that's ridiculous. I don't know,
well, you talk Disney now, it's worth nothing. So
yeah, I know. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They just bought it and say, oh, it's not for us, and then went to the other party.
And AT&T ended up, doing, there was another one that they got, and we sold to Discovery, Awesomeness TV, sold, to a couple different people. I now work in the same group as Awesomeness at Viacom, but there were some of us that exited. A couple got huge. We did not get a huge return. We got a good return.
Yeah.
But it was a wild time, and then the whole business fell apart. But in other parts of the world, there are still some MCNs. Like in Dubai, you've got Alfan, you've got a couple there.
Yes.
There are some still in Saudi Arabia. There's
Saudi
some in
Arabia,
Egypt.
the guys, yeah. Oh, I remember when the camera stopped. Anyhow, now VidCon. But as you said, VidCon is not only there are three lines of VidCon, for the fans, for business, for the creators, and this is something Sean Does Magic mentioned. They need a support in a way. How can I produce this? How can I do that? But they also need the support. How can I monetize that? He said he's 19 years old. He's really really amazing. I would love my kids to be like him when they are 19 years old. And he told me when he was thinking about monetization, he was thinking about 1% of what agency brought him, opened the eyes and the ideas and everything, and he moved in that direction. He kept his, personality, whatever, on camera, but they opened his eyes. This is what VidCon does for the creators and for the fans. I'm a fan.
For the industry too.
And for the industry, that's.
How do you treat creators fairly?
Yeah.
How do you build a partnership with creators? And the platforms come in, but it's all about educating. But The other really interesting thing, like, so VidCon, we are creator first. Absolutely, 100%. Everything we do is about creators. They sit at the center of what we do. We believe fundamentally in the creator economy. We want them, because we're started by creators, but we love the fact that creativity is distributed evenly around the world. Yeah. And anybody who has the time, the inclination, the talent, the desire can start that channel, reach an audience, do what they're passionate about, build a life.
And this is why VidCon is going global, I would say.
Right, everywhere.
This month you're in Singapore.
We're going to Singapore at the end of November.
End of November, and then
we're in Abu Dhabi the 3rd to the 6th of December.
I'm so glad. And I really would like to be there on those events.
You should come to both of them.
Two?
Come to both. Come to Singapore.
I'm both days. I'm there, and thank you very much.
Nice.
I consider this an invitation. It's
it's an invitation.
Yeah, it's
an invitation for all of you to come too.
Come to the VidCon in Singapore late November and early in December in
November
Abu Dhabi.
25th in Singapore, 3 to 6 December in Abu Dhabi.
Okay, so they will be there. I will be there. I promise. Thank you very much for the invitation. And who will be there?
So lots of different people. I mean, Sean will be there. Rachel. We've got Quebblecop coming. We've got like Nusair. You know Nusair?
No,
Daily Nas.
Daily Nas. Of course. Yeah.
Nusair will be here. Leone is going to be there. We've got
Nasair lives in between Dubai and Singapore.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, he is like me.
But Naz from and North Stars and just we've got hundreds.
Dan Mace probably because they started collaborations recently. Dan Mace from Casey Neistat's friends. Anyhow, that is amazing event. For people to learn, for fans to
celebrate, connect, and look. All this is about. It used to be before the internet. If you were a geek and you were in a little town of 500 people somewhere, you'd be like, there's no other geeks like me. We started a cable television channel in 1997, 98 called Tech TV, because I was a geek, right? And I was a host on Tech TV. So I hosted shows at one point.
Yeah, I can tell you.
But we remember, really vividly, this was back when you had to get your TV over satellites. And people remember those big satellite dishes? Right?
Not just imagine the equipment. Imagine the equipment you have for to stream to satellite and in the TV and then down.
But here's the thing. So we did the first TV network about technology and computers and geeks and things like that. And we would get people call us up and email us, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, I live in a town of 500 people. I got a huge dish in the backyard. I have cows in the front yard." I had no idea there were other geeks like me.
No.
This is my community. And now the power of the internet and video and TikTok and YouTube is whatever you're passionate about, whoever you are, wherever you are in life, you can find people like you. And typically a creator will sit at the center of the community, but they're not the heart of the community. The heart of the community is all the people around it that connect to each other, and their love of the creator sits at the center. What we do at VidCon is we bring those communities together so you can not only celebrate with the people like you that love those creators, discover new creators, figure out where there's intersections with other people that are like you. And so it is a very welcoming place that anybody can come to and feel at home. You've arrived home. So that's kind of what we try to do at VidCon.
It would be amazing to visit those shows. It would be amazing to do some podcasts with the things. Let's discuss about that. Yeah. We'll brainstorm around that in the days to come on Web Summit. How do you like Web Summit?
I love it.
You were on stage.
I wanted to come for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm finally here. So I'm going 2 days from now. I'm doing something with Sean and with Rachel, RCL Beauty.
Where?
Here. It's at Web Summit.
On
stage.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, no.
Yeah. Remember, we're here. This is Web Summit.
I have
You've changed
reminders.
too many time zones over the past couple of days.
Yes. Jim, thank you very much for being in our podcast.
Thank you.
Such an energy, such an idea, and such. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless, and doesn't happen. And that really doesn't happen. I would really like to pick your brain more and discuss. And let's meet in Singapore next time.
Yeah, well,
I'll be in the audience here in Web Summit. Okay. Yeah. I will be in the audience watching, and I hope to see you around and in Singapore.
I'll see you in Singapore. I'll see you in Abu Dhabi, and then we got lots of stuff going on in 2022 as well.
Looking forward to that. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks.
That was one special edition of the Change Officer podcast. I'm blown away for so many changes and so many things. But let's keep exploring VidCon, which we will do in the next month. And I'm looking forward to that extremely. I'm like a kid, look at us, like talking about.
Store. Me too. My whole career's been like that. Let's have fun.
No. You cannot imagine how true you are. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.